Hi, Misha,
And this is Fox.
and this is going to be a kind of on-the-road Q&A. First and foremost, we sincerely apologize for this being a couple of weeks later than we planned, but June was anyway, a bit of an interesting month. But that means we do have quite a few questions to get through, but we have several things to do today, most importantly, eating. And since several questions are also about food, we're just going to take you along with us and kind of record throughout our day. Do Patreon Q&A. I think this is number 25, whatever it is. Bucking up a month, donations, they're great. Really could use the help right now because summer is slow, dry, and yeah. Well, with that, guys, we will get into the questions, and we're also going to get in and grab some chow, so.
Tokyo House.
See you in a bit. All right, we have thoroughly confused the waitress because we were ordering the wrong rolls, but while we're waiting on that, we'll get to our first couple of questions. And I should have brought the spinny thing. Anyone on my personal channel knows that. A Lazy Susan, we could just move it around to us.
Lazy Susan would have been awesome.
Great.
You know what? The chef may have one. That'd be hilarious.
Just bring it out of there.
All right, cool. We'll get to the first question from Keelan Ross. Hey, Misha and Fox. I thought I would write you regarding a suggestion for a video. I think a video about general firearm maintenance and storage would be interesting. Maybe cover some of the cleaning products and methods you prefer and why. After watching a decent amount of content about his subject, it seems like everyone has their own unique way of keeping their guns up and running, and I would be curious to find out what works best for you guys. Thanks for your time. Dude, we collect AKs. We don't clean them. No, just kidding.
I'll let you go first on that because you do have, being serious, more modern guns.
For sure.
You know, the newer stuff is more resistant.
Definitely. So what I like to do is I like to kind of dedicate one day for it. Especially with video and everything, I know when I shoot my guns, I kind of keep up with it, easy to go back on. So I'll just dedicate like a Saturday or a rainy day and just clean them all. I like to use the Hops cleaner. It's a cleaner and lube combo, and it's got a lot of spray to it. So I feel like it gets a lot of the grime out. And then I'll use an air blower as well. And just good old-fashioned rim oil to really get in and oil those. But honestly, my nephew that's in the channel and involved with us, he's taken a really big interest in guns and taking them apart. And he is a firefighter. He has lots of time off and in the academy and always likes a little extra money. So I've actually been paying him, $20 or $30 to clean a good 5-10 guns. And he gets to learn how to take guns apart, and I don't have to sit there all day and be still. But yeah, I'm pretty simple, man. I have a lot of my grandfather's firearms and my dad's firearms from years that are from the 30s, and good old-fashioned rim oil seem to keep them doing pretty good. So for my mostly plastic guns, it works pretty good too.
Yeah, we're in Arkansas. I'm kind of the same way. Hops and rim oil. I know they're not the best, but the thing about
they're everywhere.
The thing about rim oil, you can't spray it on and it'll be there in 6 months. But if you handle your guns routinely, where you're going to need to re-oil them anyway, it's cheap, effective, and it'll stay on for a good month or two.
Right.
And yeah, it works well. As far as bore cleaner, I don't get too bad. I do avoid corrosive ammo if I can, just because it's so humid here. It's hard. He did mention storage, and
yes.
What I found, it's worth its weight. A dehumidifier.
For sure.
Just people ask about my stuff. I really don't do a whole lot. But having them in a room with a dehumidifier, it is amazing. Even if rust starts to form, it just doesn't have a way to flourish.
Yeah, the dehumidifier makes a huge huge difference. Which you've got your own large room, and I have a room dedicated for guns as well. So. We handle our guns enough and pull them in and out and check them out, so we could always tell.
That's the thing, too, is look at them. Don't just stick them in a corner, because most of the rust I've seen that got really bad was because
when they set.
Someone just ignored it. Thought, or they put it, everyone knows not to put it in a sock.
Right.
That's not
just going to retain moisture.
No. Other thing I was going to say is climate control. Don't have your guns
in the garage.
In a garage or even a storage building that gets hot. That's really what causes a lot of moisture to form is hot, cold.
Right.
Keep it in an area. If you have a gun room or safe, run air conditioning in there. Or
Heat and air, something.
Keep it in. Like mine is kind of off the house, so it doesn't quite...
Right, but it doesn't ever get extreme in there.
Whereas we keep our house at roughly 70, it fluctuates between about 60 in the winter and maybe 75 in the summer. that's fine, but more than that, I wouldn't do. And the dehumidifier does warm it up quite a bit too. That's the thing, but dries the air. But yeah, I would say that's the deal. And
super good question. I think that would be something cool, even just.
We're pretty basic. I know a lot of people like Chris Bertacci have very specific things, and that's great. But
this is what works for us, but also I think it'd be cool to make a video on that too, since he did mention it.
And of course, I have a lot of old guns.
Yeah, take them apart, show kind of the cleaning, what some do's and don'ts. There are some do's and don'ts I've learned over the years. Too much oil on certain guns does make things get a little too much oil. So.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want it one way or the other. You don't want to dry it out. You don't want to set the dehumidifier to like 0% humidity. Right. That's good for your metal maybe, but it's horrible on your wood or rubber.
Yeah. I will end with shooting a lot of 22s here lately. That hops, that's really high pressurized, is so easy because you can just lock that slide back, and just. Psh. But yeah, good question, Keelan. We really appreciate that.
And I will just say, your environment matters. If you're at high altitude and dry, or low, so different areas. That's what works for us in the river valley and mountains of Arkansas. Hope I'm sounding okay, guys. I've got the boom mic here.
Yeah, you should be. We'll always we can stop and check it out. But
yeah, we got next.
Cool. All right, cool. Let's jump into SB. He says, question, now that KUSA and Palmetto State are both spinning up domestic product steel case 7.62 ammo, what do you forecast the eventual price per round may eventually settle at? Hopefully it makes it easier to get ammo, but
it'll certainly help.
To put a dollar amount on it, who knows, man? We've seen some ridiculous things happen over the last couple of years, haven't we?
That's the most exciting news out of PSA in a long time, because you know what? Guns, people have this or that. They might just buy one or two, but we all need more ammo.
Oh, for sure.
And I honestly, as much as I talk about mil-spec Russian AKs or Chinese or whatever in PSA, I think when it comes to ammo, they can actually make better than the steel import, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to put a dollar amount, but what's most important is we'll have a steady supply of a popular company that, say what you want about them. The fact that KUSA and Palmetto, they've been reliable on putting products out. I think if the two people were going to do it, that'd be a pretty good two companies to do it. So
the only rough number I've heard was 50 cents or less around. And I've heard that from a couple of people, and hopefully that's a slight overestimation. But I would be very shocked if it goes below 35 cents a round.
Well, here's the cool thing about Palmetto State is they are notorious for deals. 4th of July, Memorial Day deals. You know damn good and well a couple of times a year they're going to do some specials or free shipping. So
maybe, though.
Yeah, well, you're right. Ammo's ammo.
I don't see as many ammo deals.
That's true.
We'll see. But I'm excited about it. I will definitely buy a case when they come out.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Let's go on to number 3 here from Oliver. Misha, could you make a video review of the current import Wasr 3 from Century Arms? We were just talking about that.
We were. They finally are in stock. I had them pre-ordered at a couple of distributors, but it looks like Atlantic kind of got first swoop. And I actually just called the owner of Atlantic the other day and just said, hey, you want to send us one? So he's a little busy right now, maybe on vacation.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the price point seems to be about $1,200, so it's a little steep.
It is. It's a little steep, but I think we've all been kind of waiting for Wasr to put out a 223 that's available.
Now, hopefully they brought in mags for it.
Well, that's his other question. What's the mag compatibility going to be with others? Is that going to fit my arsenals? Or
I don't know. I mean, the Romanian mags were based on the German Uyghur mags, what do you want to call them, and they were kind of finicky in the past. You know, Century tried adapting some AK-74 Bakelites with new followers, but they weren't great. But that was back when they were $5-6 a pop. Now those are, I don't know. I would say this: if you get one and they do have factory mags, buy enough.
That's a good way to look at it, especially while they're out and available. You never know.
Get
them while you can.
I don't think Arsenals will fit, at least without mods.
Circle 10s.
Because they're polymer and they're thicker. The East German and the Romanian 223, they're steel and they're relatively thin.
Yeah. Well, we'll be eager to try to get one of those in our hands and make a couple of range
I've had
days.
it on pre-order at 2 distributors since March. So,
Should
in
be
fact, I
getting
just
that
talked
in.
to one of those yesterday too, because we were catching up before the weekend.
Cool. Thanks for the question, Oliver.
Yeah, we will keep you. We'll do it.
We got one from John.
And hopefully won't have receiver issues.
Yeah, no joke. John Escobar. Misha, in Arsenal, what do you like more, the side folder Sam SF or the underfolder M7? If you had to pick one stock new model, and also in general, do you like the side folder or underfolder? What is the desire for underfolder? I don't know the history. I don't get it. Man, I'll tell you what I like.
Remember, you shot my side folder a while back, and you own it. By the way, the underfolders just came back at Arsenal.
Those have been hard to get the last little bit.
They're like $2,000 now, though.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Anyway, what do you think?
I prefer the underfolder just because I've got enough wood stock and fixed stock AKs that it's just kind of refreshing to have that old school look. I like the little thin wire. It's got a cool aesthetic to it, especially when they're kitted out. As far as function, I don't really see much of a difference. In all honesty, the side folder is more comfortable on my cheek, and I feel like I get a better aim.
Yeah, it's more rounded versus square.
But at the end of the day, having that Rambo look and still being functional, I mean, face it, with my underfold, I'm not reaching out to 500 yards. It's a close quarter combat kind of deal, but I just like the underfolder. What about you, Misha?
And this is interesting because the underfolder is a relatively short length of pull. And
it is.
While you're not, a giant, you're taller than I am.
Right.
The side folder from Arsenal is longer length of pull. And
Correct.
I hear a lot of guys complain about it. I've never found a problem with it, and I like it more only because it's unique to Arsenal.
I'll be honest, I have several side folding guns, and the only time I ever side fold is when I'm transporting. I mean, the underfolder, to me, it's just easier to maneuver, but I'm not a big fan of leaving the gun side folded and even shooting. Something about trying to charge it and maneuver.
Well, it's not really meant.
It's not meant to. So,
I mean, in a pinch, or like if you're in a vehicle.
Of course.
Food time, guys.
Food time.
Okay, break for food, because priorities, guys. But yeah, we were talking about underfolders, and I was saying I like the Arsenal, even though it's longer. I find it fits me well, and it's unique to them. And I like that it has a rubber butt plate.
Doesn't tend to climb up your
No,
your
even though
shoulder
it's a
as
really
much.
narrow. But I remember when we lived through the assault weapons ban, and when it sunset at the end of 2004, one of the first ban-free guns we could get was the Yugo M70AB2. Century was doing kit builds, so that was so cool to get at the beginning of 05. Underfolding stock, grenade launching sights, threaded barrel, bayonet lug. So I get what you're saying, but it is the classic AK look. So I agree, look-wise, says the blind guy, it's better. I do. But practically, the Arsenal. But and I have other underfolders. Like my Wasr underfolder, I wouldn't get rid of it for anything. So
Yeah.
as far as the history, just real briefly, really from the beginning, the AKS 47 prototypes, two of the prototypes had underfolding stocks, and they were basically based on the German MP40, and of course that went into production. And then the AKMS stock was introduced around the same time as the AKM in 1959, and it's just an improved version that latches on both sides. And really, the AKMS underfolder is still what most people have today. There, a few small improvements, like Zastava's made a few, but yeah, it's very compact, and paratroopers, tank cores, things like that.
Cool. Good question, John. Let's move on to Appley C. He wants to know our thoughts on the CRS Firearms debacle. Well, we probably have a lot of opinions, and there's certain things that I can say that I'm not because I don't personally know Matt, but to be honest, I was just never a real big fan of his content in the beginning, and nothing he did particular. It just wasn't anything that held my interest. And
we all have styles. I mean, just this morning, someone was saying they don't like that I do hour-long videos.
Right.
That is totally valid. Trust me,
right.
If you don't like watching it, that takes longer to make it. I wish I could make 5, but yeah.
Even when I first came on, I'm like, I can make a 5-minute video.
I remember that.
30 minutes, 40 minutes. It goes. That's why we're taking you guys along with us
when
while we're
you
eating.
like something.
I think we're good. Check whenever you're ready. No hurry. Together, yes. Thank you. But I think what Matt was trying to do was really, I'm actually going to say a little more than poke the bear. I'm going to say go into the bear cave, because
He was kind of flaunting it.
yeah, and at the end of the day, if you want to do things that push it, okay, if you're pushing the envelope, but I kind of have a problem when you start selling things to other people and knowing,
roping them in.
Because, man, there's a lot of guys that ignorance of the law, you guys know, is still breaking it. So I think when you're selling people products and you're benefiting money, almost breaking the law, it's there's a lot of easier ways to make a dollar, and now you see the situation he's in. I mean,
yeah. Well, and if you're going to not only sell those at gun shows, but also do it on YouTube,
right?
It's really hard to complain that they come down on you. You were making it. It'd be one thing if you're doing it in the privacy of your own home and they just barged in. That I would object to. Mm-hmm. You're not showing it or whatever, but the way he made it very well known. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we can all have our opinions on guns and things, but even the arm brace stuff. But man, the gray area really starts to become black and white on this on his situation. And man, I hope his family is okay, and I wish the best for him. But you won't see us pushing envelopes on things.
No. We have too much to lose.
I'm a reserve firefighter. Misha has an excellent job. We have family.
My family's police, so
yeah, I can't lose any strikes.
No. That was really really good food.
Very refreshing. Not too full, not hungry.
Yeah, when it's 85 and humid.
So we just got done talking about Matt here. Appley also asked another question. I know you already have reviews on the ARX 100. It's the one to grab. In your collective opinion, what other firearms by name meet similar must-buys? The AUG, PS90, ...
I'll turn the camera around.
Yeah.
So you can kind of be on.
Yeah. I've mostly been behind the camera lately. The ARX was just that was always going to be cool. In fact, the person who helps me out was looking at mine the other day. The PS90, I've tried not to love it, but I just can't quit it. And we finally got ammo. I actually finally found a good deal on ammo for it.
Last week.
Yeah, and by good deal, I mean it was like 40 cents a round. But you know what? I'll take it. So we will probably be doing at least a couple of PS90 videos, because I might have went a little overboard on the ammo. Like 600 rounds.
Oh,
but, those are around. Yeah, you see them occasionally. What else? Any of your military-style guns, if you want them. The Breel is always a safe bet. Just because I really don't think FB Radom is going to make them forever, because they're moving on to the MSBS, the Grot. So they might stop that. Any of the CZs, the Bren 2, couldn't hurt.
Heck, even the Scorpion right now. Last time I looked, I've already got one, but heck, they were on sale for like $6.99. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, there's one. Any of the new MP5 types, the MKEs or the POFs. I personally prefer the POFs. Yep. But I do own an MKE, so there's not really dinging one or the other. But they've really come down. I remember in like the year 2000, a Todd Bailey knockoff cheap clone of Special Weapons was $9.99. So to see one today that's a true import for $100 more than that is an amazing deal. Yeah. Trying to think. The Stavas, maybe like the stuff that they don't do as much, like the M77 or the M90.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think another good one to add, since he said AUG, I think if you could get the NATO version, and of course the standard AUG right now, the prices have come down a little bit, and those probably aren't always going to be around.
No.
And if you like bullpups, and now that the brace thing's going on, man, we're getting a 16-inch barrel, and it's pretty short. So.
I know that 9-hole has really gone into the AUG rabbit hole. He's called me a few times about different things. He's doing that. I guess that kind of reminds me of the Hellion. They're still out there.
Yeah.
It's not
I
didn't know what to really expect of the Hellion, but it's
you seem to
good.
kind of like it.
It did, yeah. Maybe because my expectations weren't low, they just kind of weren't anything.
Well, you really grew up in the era where you got what you got with the bullpup world, and that one does check all the boxes. But
it's just been really reliable.
I think honestly the best way to do it, unless you're just wanting to do kind of a grab and go, own some cool guns, kind of ask yourself what your plan is. Are you a deer hunter? Are you a tactical shooter? Are you a marksman? And kind of base it around that, because it's really easy to get into, I'm going to buy a lot of things, but if you can always kind of maybe have an application for it, that may narrow down your journey and your search.
Completely agree. Yeah, kind of, and you can't do it immediately. You have to kind of play the field, buy a few of this, but if you can kind of focus your collection a wee bit, like when I was doing the big Japanese video, someone said you should get the older Muratas, and I said I've had a pretty hard and fast rule: no black powder. Yeah. Not because I don't like black powder. I've got to make some lines somewhere.
Right. Well, and I don't know. There's just something about your builds go a little smoother when you've got a plan. It's kind of like anything in life. When you go into it without really an idea of what you want, sometimes disappointment can set in.
Well, and you have this kind of a random assortment of guns. It's neat to have guns that are cohesive.
Correct.
Or that use the same parts.
But it's also neat to have something that you truly enjoy using, and it has more of an application rather than just chilling in the safe and you bought it because...
Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, if you're going to have a gun, that's what people ask about, should I shoot this gun? Yeah, I mean, if it's safe to shoot and you got the ammo, what's the point of owning it?
If you're kind of an AR type person, which kind of looks like with the ARX and some of those things, I really recommend the Bren 2, and I'll say that because my applications of guns are very tactical, but I've gotten into the night vision world and thermal, and I hunt a lot. And the Bren really gives you the features of an AR. It's lightweight, but it's got a lot of real estate. You can put stuff, and man, it's just a really fun gun. I would definitely recommend the Bren 2. It's just a cool gun.
And don't forget shotguns.
Yeah, heck yeah. Benelli's right now, or you can get a base Benelli for like what, $1,600.
Yeah, it's actually got to the point now where the Beretta guns are the same price as a Benelli. Yeah. I know they're technically same company, but still, for that.
Well, and the cool thing about a shotgun is it can be a duck gun, it can be a deer gun, it can be a varmint gun. It's just you can't go wrong, especially with a quality one.
And ammo's available.
Ammo is everywhere. You can practice all you want. How could I forget shotguns? But sweet.
Well, they do kind of get swept under the rug. As far as pistols, pistols is a very personal. Yeah. Whatever fits your hand well. Yep. Things like that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we'll stop here and get on to the next one.
Alrighty.
Let's go to Powers here. Just wondering as to, in your opinion, which milsurps are currently the most underrated, popularity, price, etc. This is definitely a Misha question.
Yeah, let me think about it, and we're gonna get on the road because we're gonna go to the mall. There's at least one mall that still exists in the state of Arkansas. Alrighty. Milsurp. I'm not really sure what's on the market. Okay, I know one. There have been some pretty good deals on Carcanos. It's still a little overlooked, underappreciated, and it's a fun gun, but you've got to find 6.5 Carcano. Which is not the hardest thing in the world, but...
Right.
Okay, I got another one now that I think about it. French. I have seen a handful of French MAS 49 56s. That is an excellent semi-automatic battle rifle. 7.5 French is basically like a little bit more powerful 308. It's a direct impingement, very robust gun. If you're looking at them, though, be careful with the 308s. They're... odd conversions.
Little jumpy?
Yeah. Well, no. They just the conversions were done in America and they don't work great.
Yeah, not the best.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that comes to mind. But again, I haven't really been in the milsurp market for several years because I picked up most of mine when I couldn't afford anything else because that was the cheap gun.
Right.
Maybe if you want a Mauser, I've seen some Yugos. I mean, they're a lot more expensive than they used to be, but there are some 24-47s and M48s that have come around, and the nice thing about those is they are an 8mm at least, so
yeah,
can't get that. So those are my thoughts. Carcano, MAS 4956, and some flavor of Yugo Mauser.
Cool. Well, solid question there, Powers. Hope Misha was able to help you a little there. Let's see what.
We need to get you a Mosin.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't already have one, just do it. Hate them or love them. It was my first big gun to ever buy as a kid. I think it was everybody's first big gun to ever buy as a kid. Anyways, let's go to Mark P. He's wondering if an AK doesn't have a cold hammer forged barrel, is this a deal breaker for you or Fox?
What do you think?
I'm going to go with no. It's not anything that really is going to be a deal breaker for me. You know, there's a debacle on what's the real issue there. I guess, I don't know. Let's hear your historical long-term collection of AKs and cold forged barrels.
Well, the benefit to cold hammer forged, cold hammer chrome lined together,
Right.
it's a pretty
Accurate?
long live. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's pretty accurate.
Not accurate.
Well,
Yes.
it's you do lose a little bit.
Right.
In accuracy, a tiny bit because of that, but
Right.
you gain it in longevity.
Right.
And what I've noticed is with a traditional like button rifle non-chrome barrel,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be more accurate at first, but it'll dip down. A cold hammer forged chrome line will just kind of maintain even Steven for longer. But how do you even know if your barrel is cold hammer forged? I mean, it's not.
Yeah, it says it on their website, you know, kind of deal. I mean, I can tell you right now, with having a good mix of AKs and being around Misha all these years, I've never noticed anything largely different. Now, maybe in 50 years, we may start seeing things, but it kind of goes back to one of our first questions there earlier, is if you're maintaining your guns, storing them properly, cleaning them, you know, is it going to make much of a difference in your lifetimes? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe your grandkids you pass the guns down to, but let's be honest. I mean, I think it all goes back to application. Now, whenever it comes to like my AR-15s and my dedicated hunting guns, yeah, I want the added upgrade, the cold hammer forged and some of those things, because those are guns that I'm truly working with like on a weekly basis and abusing. But I don't know. I'm not going to let it turn me off. I'm one of them people. If I want it, I'm going to buy it.
It's not a deal breaker. If you give me a choice, I'll take it. Sure, why not? It is definitely a thing. But
it's definitely not going to turn me away from buying
But if someone gave me a really great kit build and it happened to have a non-CHF barrel,
right,
I'd still go for it.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop me. It's like a receiver. I prefer import receivers or childers, but I'll go with the Morrissey if I have to. Doesn't matter.
Well, and kind of the good news about today's market is there's enough companies making good, reliable AKs where you can kind of pick and choose what you want, from WBP to Zastava to Arsenal. Hey, man, just get a good, more importantly, get a good quality AK. Spend the extra dollar, get your ammo, and get your scope and shoot the damn thing.
Yeah, get out and enjoy it. And basically, if you can afford to shoot out a gun or a barrel, if you can afford the ammo costs.
For sure. Good question, Powers.
And it was, I would say, especially the chrome line part, was a little more important back in the days of corrosive.
I was going to say, how much corrosive ammo
these
you really
days,
get your hands on?
Hopefully none.
Yeah.
It seems like anymore when you get it, it's by accident. So, yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just taking whatever ammo I can get.
No shit. So, yeah, Fox wasn't going to buy anything. 5 minutes later, he's got like 3 shirts from Dillard's.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Met a really nice cashier, though, who actually likes her job.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I do wear, other than just T-shirts, I wear actually very nice polo tucked-in dress shirts because of my real job. But
yeah, this is the first time I've been in Northwest Arkansas Mall in probably 10 years. It's still here, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely here. It's actually quite clean, considering it's mostly vacant. I don't know. Cookie sounds really good.
Cookie?
Yeah, Great American Cookies.
What do you want with sushi? A cookie.
A cookie.
So, what do we have next?
Let's see what John has to say. Hey guys, can you share anything about the new Colt 7.62 by 39 M4 or the monolithic carbine? I picked up the mono and I'm pretty impressed with how nice it is for the money.
Honestly, I can't. I've never really been much involved in the 7.62 by 39.
I got you.
I've never really been involved in the 7.62 by 39 AR world. I mean, for a long time, I didn't even really do 223 AKs, but time has convinced me. If someone likes them, that's great. I do like Colts, but when it comes to Colts, I'm mostly into the military style ones. AR-15A4, LE6920, things like that. But I've had a few of their monolithic, like 6940s and 6944s, and it's a really nice design. But Colts are strange to get as a dealer.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that just because I really haven't done much research or shot. But, well, the good thing is it's a Colt, so
Although the last one of mine you shot, you jammed up with that Tula ammo.
That's because you had a really old gun, and you know I use high quality ammo.
Yeah. This gun's like made in 1992. It's not old.
No, maybe we can get some more info on the monolithic carbine and stuff. We'll do a little bit of homework
as usual,
on that.
Chris Bartacci's the guy to ask about that. He's the Colt guy. Like that's his bag. He has a very strong love-hate relationship with Colt.
Yep. All right. Hand it back to you.
All right then.
Read. Thanks for the question, John. Let's go to old Jim D. Anything on the horizon firearm-wise that you guys are excited about? I mean, firearms you'd like to see here in the U.S. For me, it might be a bolt-action 300 Blackout. Talk about a good gun to suppress. A bolt-action 300 Blackout. That is a perfect hog gun.
That might actually have negative sound.
Yeah, that would be awesome. He does say he likes the CZ Scorpion Trail, and I have yet to own any of the new Colt Pythons. It's hard to think of firearms not on the U.S. market, except maybe the British SA-80 and the French famous.
And unfortunately, neither of those are even in production in their home countries, so I can't see how a semi-auto could ever come over.
Right. I think really for import stuff, I've really taken like a keen liking to some of the 308 like HKs and the Mars, or I'm sorry, the LMT 308, like some 20-inch stuff and the AR platform. I've been really kind of excited about that stuff. I know it's a little pricey, but...
And it's domestic, but that's kind of where we're at. There was a day and a time when import was economical and interesting, and they're still
and
interesting.
And a better gun somewhat.
These days, there's a lot going on in the domestic AR world.
And that doesn't mess me up at all. I kind of, in a way, like it because of how much parts there are from so many different companies that are out there. It makes it really easy to customize, and you guys know me well enough now that really what I like about these guns is being able to customize them. So import-wise, I'm kind of going to go back on the CZ Bren stuff. Like, I've really taken a liking to that.
I kind of feel like any gun, and that's just it. We're not going to get guns in semi-auto form that aren't being made in military's forms, generally speaking. And we're pretty much getting a semi-automatic version of all the in-production rifles out there now, if you think about it. There's one or two, maybe not, but
I really,
the majority.
I do like your idea on the bolt action 300 Blackout. I'm so big into hunting and really sneaking around in the night with my thermals and stuff that would be a great gun to shoot. And if you do get one, maybe reach out to me. I would love to get some footage and see what you think about that, especially suppressed. I've got a couple of cans, and that'd be a cool gun to mess with.
Yeah, agreed. I like bolt actions. Of course, they're easy to import because there's really no restrictions on them of note. And I picked up some Tikas and Seikos for customers, and those are nice.
Well, it's fun to have a good target gun, too, that you're not just blowing through ammo. And 300 Blackout's still really expensive, but you can also just lay down on a mat and set at the range and hit some paper or ring some steel. So,
yeah, I'm just kind of running my head through, and I'm trying to think what we don't have that is there's a lot of things I'd love to have, but they're never going to happen, like the Japanese T64 and T89. It will never happen.
Unattainable right now.
Yeah, it just won't happen. They never made semi-autos. One that, just thinking about it, years back, everyone talked about the Lithgow Atrax, the Lithgow AUG bullpup.
Oh, yeah,
and it was coming, and then nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
So if that came in, I'd go for that.
You know what? One that I wouldn't mind seeing, since you're talking about it, AUG, I wish I would have bought one when I had the opportunity, was the little 9mm conversion kits.
Oh, yeah, they were here for just a hot minute.
That is one, Jim D, that I would definitely... we can reminisce on, because I remember Misha called and told me about them, and I don't know why I blew it off, but looking back now, that would be a really fun deal to have. But you never know.
Well, and again, it's not like you had a lot of time to get them. It was
there for like a week, and then they were done.
They brought one batch in, and then they said the ATF said you can't bring them in with barrels. Then then Steyr said, well, if we can't bring the barrels in, it's not worth tooling up barrel production. Here, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, I'm still probably going to think about that question for a
Yeah,
while, Jim.
another one too. IWI is doing really good about giving us aces and Tavors, but I think it might be neat if they did, because they've done a few versions where they just been like 500 in, like the rock and lock guns.
Oh, yeah.
If they would do like a Vietnamese military style version,
Yeah.
as like a special, or like a Colombian version,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of neat.
Cool.
Oh well.
Yeah.
But we are really fortunate if you think about it. They really are.
We can still get our hands on a lot of firearms,
Yeah.
and for as long as this stuff's been going on, we are lucky.
Well, and we even got some North Korean AK parts kits. No receiver, no barrel, but
Right.
still pretty cool.
Still can get your hands on them.
So yeah.
Cool. Well,
Alrighty.
good question, Jim.
Well, yeah. Welcome to the mall. So
Yep,
we're gonna
yep.
mosey on down to the Sunglass Hut.
Let's go there. Pretty cool.
So what do we got
Let's
next?
go with good old G Bobby.
Jababa.
Jababa. Fox and Misha can each answer this separately. What is your least favorite gun in your collection and why?
Oof.
Well,
What do you think?
I'm going to go with one of those guns that I wouldn't even really consider it like a collector's gun or anything. It was just a gun that I bought because it was a meh. But my Taurus 38 Special snub nose revolver. I bought it strictly for like a boot gun, kind of like when we go kayaking, and not saying you're not going to lose a gun, but if I were to ever tumble my kayak or wreck on my bike and that one fall out of pocket, it would be better than like my Glocks and, my other guns. But most importantly, it's just not fun to shoot. It's pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And ammo, I call it a gut gun. It's like a worst case scenario. At least you've got a gun on you kind of deal.
Yeah, those and like the Rossies. I remember we had some used Rossies coming from Century, and they were like $50. I mean, it was a gun. It did gun things. That was pretty much it.
And a lot of this will stem back to like when you're young and you're first starting to collect guns, and in this day and age, it's high-end guns are expensive. I'm trying to think of if we had a higher-end gun in my collection that I wasn't a fan of, but I did buy a M&P pistol, Smith & Wesson. That was their 2021 AR-15 that came out with like an 8-inch or 6-inch barrel.
Oh, okay, that MMP, got it.
Yeah, it's a 223 5.56, and that one was cool at the time because I got like $1,000 deal on it. But now that I've shot good ARs, that may be a qualifier, but it's not a bad gun. It's a big old fireball thrower. But
It's hard for me because usually if I don't really like a gun, I sell it, especially during 2021. And it wasn't so much that I hated them, but okay, here's one that is a controversial pick. I've mentioned it before, and it's not in my collection now, but my Polytech Legend. It was actually not reliable out of the box because it hadn't been fired enough, and maybe there was something wrong with the chamber. We eventually did smooth it out, and it was a bit ammo sensitive, but I don't know. It was the combination of that and what they're worth. Someone offered me for it, and I just let it go. But I felt like it was a little punchier than other builds I had. I ended up getting that Hungarian SLR 100H to replace it. Even though it's a kit build, it's on a Bulgarian receiver, so Hungarian barrel. I like it better, and it's less thumpy to me. I don't know. I'm trying to think of one I still have that I'm not real fond of. There was a time I would have said the FS 2000, but maybe it's my old age and senility. It's kind of growing on me.
the tactical tuna?
Tactical tuna.
It's a hard gun to not like if you don't take it serious because for its time, it's almost respectful. Like you feel, you can't really mouth it.
Okay, I know one. I still technically have a Benelli M2 shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent quality.
Little thumpy.
Lightweight, but it's one no one really wants. It's a dare to have someone shoot it, especially with 3-inch magnums.
Yeah, that was one I wasn't fond of either. Great gun, great quality, dependable.
That's a joke that goes back with J-Ro and I to the early 2000s with the original M1. It was kind of a test of character to see how many rounds you could put through one before you're like, I'm good. But I still technically have it, although it's probably going to get listed or given away or something like that.
Those are fun questions,
Yeah.
Bobby. I'm always down for a least favorite gun in the collection. That always makes things
Gets
interesting.
perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll get set back up and move on to the next one.
Alrighty. How you guys liking our day? This is how you do two things in one day when you needed to do two things and maximize your time. Plus,
Yeah.
it was hot out in the yard and it's air conditioned in here.
Yeah, it was all going good. My dining was going great until we sat across from Great American Cookies. So that's going to be a tough one. I don't know, man.
Let's go get the goddamn cookie.
I think I want to get the big one, the big circular one. All right, let's see what Alexander C has to say. He goes, have you heard anything about a Century HK33 import made by MKE? And out of curiosity, did you see the listing on Gunbroker for the FN Mag serial number 4 going for over $1 million? Let's jump back into the HK33 import by MKE. I've seen a few things on those.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the old Zenith Z43 piece. Good guns, they sold for shit. People didn't buy them. Now, that was then. This is now. I would get one again. They were well made for what they were and kind of cool and unique. But for whatever reason, the Zeniths did not sell.
No.
I don't know. The 9 mils did.
9 mils did great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm always about that.
FN Mag number 4 going for $1 million.
I'll be honest, I actually don't check Gunbroker much.
Ever since COVID, I've gotten away from it. Unless I was selling something on there or we were putting something.
Oh, yeah, I go on there to sell, but I don't.
As far as looking at things and stuff like that, I mean, what are you going to do with it? I mean, it's a great part of history, but...
Well, keep in mind, I can't look at pictures, so, and unless the description's really good, I don't know. It's, I mean, guys, guns are kind of my job, and I do it here too, so when I'm on my off hours, I do other things, which is why the whole personal channel... By the way, do we ever find that NECA store in the mall yet? Our sunny day changed while we were in the mall. He's getting the courage up.
For the first time in my life, in a few months, I heard a bark, 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 bark.
I want to know how you can be a firefighter and be this afraid of rain.
I don't know.
Hey, by the way, guys, our mall trip was complete when we were leaving. Hootie and the Blowfish was playing.
Yeah, that's when you know you made it to the mall, man.
I was just waiting for Gangster's Paradise to kick in. And he swears he heard the SpongeBob
I'm almost positive I heard the SpongeBob theme.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just can't believe you didn't get that cookie. I wanted you to get it so I could go, put the cookie down.
Put the cookie down.
Well, want to knock out some more questions?
Let's do it, man. Let's jump into Keelan Ross. A couple of questions for you cool cats. If you were only allowed...
Wet cats.
I just added that. If you were only allowed to get all of your food from a single fast food chain for the rest of your lives, which chain would you pick? Man, that's a good question.
American Cookie?
Dude, yeah, okay.
You know, it's...
Diabetes.
Got the... Wilford Brimley comes back. Man, I don't know. I'm not real up on my fast food, I'll be honest. And what is fast food? The lines get blurred.
Yeah. I mean... Let's do this. Are we talking fast food like IHOP, or are we talking fast food like Mickey D's, Wendy's kind of thing?
If we're talking that, I'm gonna have to say Wendy's is pretty solid.
Wendy's does make the son of a Baconator.
I like it because I like both their chicken and their beef.
Yeah.
A lot of other places I only like either or, and they have chili. It's not the best chili, but if it's the rest of your life,
as long as you don't get a finger in it.
I don't know. After you've been eating the same food for a while, finger chili might be a nice change.
Finger chili, man. So
what's yours?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with this, and I'm gonna classify Cracker Barrel as fast food.
Oh, no. You gotta pick up actual fast food, and then we'll do more of that.
Okay, so for not actual, I would go with Cracker Barrel. Not even because I like their food, but it's got enough on there where I could make it healthy, and you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of shit.
I'll be with you on that. I like it better than IHOP, and as much as I like Waffle House, I couldn't eat it all the time. So yeah, but that's not, drive-in fast, drive-through fast food.
So, all right, another one, and keep in mind, Misha lives in the bigger city than I do. I still live literally in the sticks, so I haven't repeatedly ate at a lot of fast food restaurants, but I will say one that's always pretty consistent and it's always been good to me, and that is a good old-fashioned Pizza Hut. I'm telling you,
okay, I'll let that's edging, but I'll give you credit.
Okay.
It's fast food enough.
It's fast food enough because you can get wings, you can get pasta, you can get pizza, and it's always decent.
You can get a salad, and I'm doing air quotes.
That's true.
But their breadsticks are the bomb.
Their breadsticks are good, and their cheese sticks are good. Man, Pizza Hut's just never let me down too bad.
And those cinnamon bites.
Okay. SB, I have a long barrel AK-47 Sega rifle from the 90s. Should I convert it to a 16-inch AKM style or keep it long barrel like an AK Saganov, I guess how you would say that? Does Arsenal K-Bar do conversions anymore? If you send them your rifle to convert to AKM, any idea of cost?
I'll toss you the camera.
Yep.
Because my hand's getting tired.
Yep.
Honestly, first, you know how I feel about this. A Sega is not an AKM, it's an AK-100 series. I know that might seem pedantic, but if nothing else, the specs are different, like the barrels. It's just, yeah. I would leave it as is because they're not coming in anymore. And you can't really make it into any kind of military clone. It's not going to be an RPK. Russia never really fielded like a 20-inch AK whatever anyway. It's a good gun for what it is. I think I would just leave it for that. Plus, the parts to convert it correctly are getting really pricey. As far as K-Bar, hell no. They haven't done conversions in forever. I don't think anyone there would even know how to do it. Not that what you're talking about. Arsenal doesn't have as big of a facility as you might think. They import, they do the conversions here, they're set up to do that, and not much else. Now, back in the days, sure, but now they don't really do that, so I kind of think when the last time they did was. Might be coming up on 15 years, huh?
Yeah, I say any gun you have like that should be one to just leave it alone.
Yeah.
If you're really, I get why you're asking that. That I see the functionality sides of it, but man, there's so many good options to still get imports right now in 16-inch. Just jump.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
one of those.
if that's really what you want, I would say sell the Sega because you'll get a good amount for it. Take that money, and I mean that's what I recently did with that KUSA gun. I sold my Arsenal SLR 106 CR, and kept the KP 104. Some people thought I was crazy, maybe, but I was able to get a gun closer to what I wanted and enough money left over. I was able to buy us another, 500 rounds of ammo or something. So, sell it, take the difference, get ammo. But it won't ever be any kind of military gun. It is what it is.
Totally.
And I don't see many 20-inch Segas, so...
I was going to say, that might be one you just hang on to and
someone out
and
there might be craving one. Most of them are 16.
Well, they're not making anymore, so...
Well, they are. They just can't come in here.
Yeah, they just...
Most of them are going to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the rain's shacking off, so we're going to hop on the road, and we've got another stop or two to make, folks. Well, we couldn't find the toy store in the mall, so we're going to Target, or Target.
Target is what we like to call it with us woke people now. This Target's always popping, too, though.
Yeah. We'll knock out another question or two, and then we'll go into the Target.
You should get the dude playing the guitar here, though. He's actually getting it pretty good.
He's not playing Hoodie and the Blowfish.
Oh, man. He's playing a little CCR. You got it going. Well, found where I'm going.
It's been an interesting day.
Yeah. Usually it is when we've been...
All right.
Hardwire 101. What's your opinions on the 2011s? I've looked into it and I thought I'd trade my 1968 Colt 1911. I handled a staccato. I quickly realized it's a complicated, different gun. Yeah. That's staccato for you, but man, they're badass. Even though you'd be... Oh, hold on. Even though you'd be led to believe it's similar. I also learned that staccato might be the entry-level gun for 2011s.
Yeah, when you get into that customs, honestly, you probably noticed on the channel, it's not kind of either of our bag. Not to say it's bad, but
right.
I'm unfortunately, I don't really have much of an opinion. It just, like we were talking about earlier about having a collection, having a focus to your collection, it just wouldn't fit into any niche of mine in particular.
Well, and there's one thing that stands out as I'm scanning over this, and you say as this is a bucket list gun, price doesn't really concern me. That being said, I'm not getting rid of my Colt, but I still want to hear your thoughts on them and the brands of the 2011s I think I should look at. Man, bucket list guns, I tend to fall in love with a gun and think it's going to be a bucket list guns, and then I realize you got to ask yourself why. Are you wanting a gun because you can say you've got a $3,000 1911 style gun, or you get one because you want to competitively shoot, or you just want a Cadillac smooth, in this case Ferrari smooth gun? But I've shot the Staccatos. They're great guns. They're well built, but at the end of the day, they're not concealable. Well, they are, but not for me. I wear tighter clothes, and it's just not a comfortable gun. Bucket list guns are those of why is it on your bucket list? You can always ask yourself. Misha said it too. What's its function going to be?
And keep in mind, on an HK Mark 23. So sincerely, no judgment.
Yeah.
But subjectively, the HK fits my collection better.
Yeah, I think before you go out and buy a bucket list gun, get into your ranges, get into stores, meet people, and try to get those guns in your hands, because there's been bucket list guns. Matter of fact, the Tavor 12, not really an expensive gun, but that was a gun I almost bought multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I ordered it is
because of me.
You wanted to get it. Yeah.
And it wasn't really all that great, but
subjectively, objectively, I'll say it was 100% reliable.
For sure.
And well enough made, but it didn't fit you or suit you for what you wanted.
No, not at all. And that's kind of the thing
and
about
nephew definitely.
Yeah, we're a lot of cut from the same cloth on that one too. But there's just some guns, the 1911s and stuff. I have a buddy that I just recently got converted into Glocks because he's always carried these custom 1911s and put thousands of dollars in them, and they can only take super hot ammo. And it's like, man, if you're going to use this as a daily carry, you really need something that's going to eat whatever you put in it and be ultimately comfortable and what you can handle. And
I've seen that a lot, even in the past, with the little 3-inch 1911 types.
For sure.
They were just
snippy.
I need that reliability with any kind of defense. It's great if you want to use high-end defensive ammo. That's great. But you want to be able to use just hardball, just junk ammo if push comes to shove.
Well, and especially for the training aspect of it, you buy one of these high-end guns, you need to make sure it's going to be able to eat absolutely the cheapest shit you can find. Neither one of us are knocking this. Dude, Staccatos are awesome, but you may serve better buying a couple more guns that you can train with and throw in the dirt.
I would just say, if you've shot one and you know it's for you, save up and get it. But
absolutely,
if you've just seen them on paper, online, go shoot one.
Yeah.
That has changed both of our minds more than once. Sometimes for the other direction, like we're talking about the Hellion. I really wasn't super into it until I shot it.
I would like to note here too, if you're just wanting to get a more sleeker looking gun, what Shadow Systems has done over the last little bit. If you're just wanting to get away from the boredom or the classic look of like the Glock, Shadow Systems does some really cool stuff and slick and kind of has that custom look to it. But yeah, really cool question there, man.
Sorry I couldn't be more help, but it's the truth.
he did say, which is Hardwire 101, which is better, sweet or savory? He prefers savory, so table chips.
Definitely savory.
I'm gonna go sweet, man.
Okay.
That's always been my hard problem. There's nothing like I don't even drink milk, but maybe like one time a month, but something about a huge glass of milk and some cookies and junk. It's good stuff.
I don't mind that after I've had a big meal, but if it's just a snack, no, I gotta go savory.
I could eat cookies at the drop of a hat anytime. Yeah. Now, like the Skittles and the sour candies, I'm not a fan.
I like the wafers, stuff like kind of not Nutter Butters, but like
almost
those.
like a
wafer.
crunchy cookie.
Yeah, well they're square little wafers.
Yeah.
I don't know, little waffle things. I like those. Oh, my favorite would definitely be Jaffa cookies. I love them.
Oh, those Jaffa cookies are good.
Yeah.
I went to Mom and Dad's the other day and they had a Ziploc bag full of them. And I cleared them out.
Yeah, that's fine because that can be a breakfast.
Oh yeah.
That can be a snack. That can be a dessert. Whatever you need, Jaffa cookies got you covered.
Yeah, they really do.
We should go to Aldi's. They have Jaffa cookies.
Yeah, good questions, Hardwire. Always look forward to what he has to ask. Cool.
Well, let's head in while the rain's still not raining.
Yeah, no kidding.
CV50AV45. What is Fox's opinion on the JDI San Import Swiss Sig SG553 LB300 Blackout FD NATO compared to the FG553R? Well, I haven't got to shoot those comparatively or side by side.
Yeah.
I have shot the SG553 though.
You even shot the NATO, but it was the 223.
223,
version, yeah.
just not in 300 Blackout.
Right.
Although Misha does have one, and that is something I've been kind of considering buying after I shoot, because I do like the 300 Blackout, especially suppressed. And I've got to say, I really do like the quality of the SIG stuff here lately. It's just starting to take on a new liking for it.
Any thoughts on the gun? And the 553R is the one in 7.62 by 39.
Right.
It takes AK mags.
I mean, I think they're great guns. I think the quality's there. I don't really ever have anything to complain about on those SIG guns at all. But also, with that being said, I'm not very familiar with them, and I haven't really compared them to anything else. They're kind of like a breed of their own, I feel. Sure, I can give you a little bit more detailed description whenever I shoot it, but we will.
And one question that people ask about the 553 300, if it has special mags, yeah, it's got a Stenag mag. No, they just ship them with Magpul P mags. That's what Switzerland designed them to feed from. So
Right.
either or, and that if you get to the version that has the traditional Swiss mag, well, they feed from standard 550, 551, 20 and 30 round mags. So there isn't a special 300 Blackout mag needed, according to Sig Switzerland.
Right. Yeah, he also has a question, B and C. What is Fox's opinion on the Galil Ace Gen 1 or Gen 2? Man, I really do like Gen 1 Aces. They're just kind of an iconic, especially when you get into like the Terminator 1 and stuff. That gun always stuck with me. But as far as like functioning, I've really based a lot of my collection, a lot of things I like based on what I can do with it, what I can upgrade and turn it into a hunting rifle or an overall running gunner. And the new Aces to me are just awesome.
With actually, the M-lock handguard.
Yeah, they've got a longer M-lock handguard, so you've got a lot of attachments. I've said this in previous clips that I've gotten into the night vision stuff and night hunting and being able to put the PEC or the D-balls on there and still be able to...
the lack of iron sights doesn't really impact you.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of that, but just... I don't know. I'm like the new school stuff. The old school stuff definitely has a place in my heart, but really and truly, I like being able to modernize things and make things more comfortable to me. I'm kind of a picky shooter.
The handguard is more customizable, and the buttstock is AR-15. So
and there's a lot of secondary stuff for them. You know, there's the M-lock makes stuff for them, Midwest Industries and all that stuff. I like accessorizing these newer guns too, but. Awesome question.
Yeah, and of course I'm still a Gen 1 fan, but
oh, yeah.
They didn't want to hear from me. They know my opinion. That was yours.
Yeah, and he's got one more to finish out CV's question. Does Fox have a Polish AK collection, and his thoughts on the Baril in 5.56 or 7.62? Really don't have much of a Polish AK collection. Do have lots of positive things to say about the Baril. Man, I kind of like it in 7.62. I'm a classic kind of AK running gunner. I'm starting to lean more towards some 223, 5.56 AKs, but man, 7.62 is hard to beat, especially in the Baril. It's a forgiving gun to shoot, good quality.
And it's one of the better guns. If you want to shoot X39, you can monoscope. It's easy to monoscope on that compared to a lot of other AKs.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of the thing about it is I feel that there's a few other options in 223, 5.56 that you can always get, but I don't know. That's
kind of why I said earlier, I'm more or less a fan of ARs and 223 and AKs and 7.62. It took me a long time to warm up to the 223 AK concept, and even now, I am a little choosy with the ones I have.
Yeah, we'll talk about that little Sam, the Arsenal 223. You know, it's real fun to shoot, and I still haven't really warmed up to it either. Don't say that I'm backing off from that. It's fun to shoot, but I don't know. I'm still 739 at the end of the day.
Well, standard mags, standard parts for the most part. And I do like the look of the Baril in X39. It's got a little shorter barrel, kind of a stubby forend. I don't know. It's got an interesting look to it.
Yeah, the barrels are cool. They look good. And matter of fact, I think I'm picking one up today. The little pistol
Mini, yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be in 223. So that'll be kind of coming at you, and we'll eventually put a stock in SBR it. But
yeah, you got to do that. Easy enough to do though.
I've definitely came a long ways from venturing out of my AK collection to get into these barrels, and I just think they're great guns. And fortunate enough to be partnered with Misha here and be able to shoot them all.
That's how the spiral happens.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. But yeah, awesome questions, CV. I definitely appreciate it, and we'll continue down the list.
Alrighty, Creature Owl for Eric.
Let's see. Eric Sinert says, "Hi guys, hope all is well. 3 things. A, do you think we'll ever see the Polish grout or grout? G-R-O-T?
Yep. That's the MSBS. That's kind of
here. I'll turn around for you so you can kind of be on some camera here.
It's not a ACR, but it's sort of kind of like it's like an ACR in the same way that a 805 Bren is like a SCAR. You know, it's kind of inspired. It's a cool gun, very modular. I mean, if all goes to plan, we'll see a semi-auto, but, you know, a lot of things can throw a monkey wrench in. But we've been very lucky with the FB guns. We got all the Briels. We got the Vis 100, the Mini Briel too. So, yeah, I'm hopeful. I think it's definitely possible.
Cool. He also asked, where can I get all the parts to make my Sam 7R look just like Misha's AR-M9 clone?
Let's see, the Sam 7R. About the only thing I did to it, I put on a 24 mil front side base, and then I put on a egg beater flash hider. Right now, those are hard to get, but you know, at a year, they might import a big batch. So yeah, the furniture is just AR M9 furniture. KVAR had some come in last year, and then it'll disappear for a couple of years and then come back in. So with that stuff, just kind of got to look around. I didn't use the AR M9 pistol grip because the Sam 7R doesn't have the left side selector. I used the Arsenal so-called SAW, SAW, the pistol grip, because it's basically the same shape, a little different. It doesn't have the little cutout. It would have bugged me to have the little cutout and not the lever there. I thought about putting the lever in, but
Let's get on to G-Bobby. Misha, how bad of an idea is it to get an FFL to buy, sell, and trade guns as a hobby, side gig, or is it? Any advice for someone thinking about doing this?
As far as getting an FFL, the ATF will definitely not give you one if they know you're just going to use it for yourself or even your buddies. You need to be using it for some level of commerce. Now, it doesn't have to be full-time job. In fact, they don't even have like a minimum number of guns you have to sell a month. It's just, you know, even a couple a month is fine. Think about a lot of gunsmiths, you know, they probably don't sell a lot, but you have to be using it for some kind of commercial purpose, some kind of gains. More importantly, though, the ATF is actually not the hard part of the FFL in a lot of places. It's actually your local city or wherever you know, township. You have to have a business license. It has to be local, and a lot of places don't let FFLs run home businesses. They do other things. It's hard for me to speak because I don't know where you live, but yeah, that often is the more problematic aspect, is the local government, not the ATF or even state.
Yeah. G-Bobby also asks, what food smells good but tastes horrible to you, or vice versa?
Huh. Smells good, but tastes...
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Broccoli's kind of one of them. Like, sometimes when Cody's steaming broccoli, it doesn't smell the greatest.
I got it. Scallops.
Scallops is a good one.
I love eating them, but I am not crazy about the smell when they're cooking or, like, you know, the packaging. Gag. Yeah, as far as the reverse that smells good...
Corn nuts. Dude, if someone in the vehicle is eating corn nuts, it smells so odd. If you don't believe me, I'll stop and get a bag of corn nuts.
You mean D's nuts?
D's nuts.
I know you said that. It makes me popcorn. I like the smell of popcorn. I don't really like eating. How about you?
I mean, man, I don't know. That's kind of
Broccoli smells weird when it's cooking in the oven, but tastes pretty good. I eat a lot of broccoli, Brussels
I love
sprouts.
broccoli.
Really, any greens. Sometimes if greens are just
some greens. Yeah, I agree.
yeah. Sometimes if greens are just like cooking, I don't know. Things get weird.
Hey, I've got one.
What's that?
Beans.
Beans are definitely.
I love how they taste. They smell good too, but.
G Bobby also asked, a lot of the guns you show off are incredibly pristine despite high round counts. What's your secret to keeping them so clean or getting them so clean?
Well, we kind of talked about it earlier about that, but yeah, I would say really the dehumidifier, especially where we live, is great. Also, not storing guns touching each other, because if guns touch, I've had it where rust will kind of transfer from one to the other. So the more circulation current you can have in your gun area, I find it to be the better, because it kind of whisks the moisture around versus letting it just sit stagnant on something.
Right.
And a light coat of, I don't go crazy with the oil. Again, we said rim oil. It's just a light coating. Luckily, I don't really have the kind of sweat or body oils that does do it. But if I know I'm handling a gun, I usually just have a rag there and I'll just wipe the gun down real quick.
Well, we've had some of your higher end guns and they'll start sprinkling a little bit. Just a simple wipe down, simple oil, simple clean. I mean,
just kind of keep it in my gun arm and I go back in and just wipe off fingerprints. Basically.
Kind of go back to that temperature controlled room. Even if you're not keeping it 69 or 70 degrees in the summer, just having something even in the 80s where it's not just a huge gap of up and down temps. But yeah. Cool questions, G Bobby. Let's go into another little short one while we can drive here. Appley C asked, might be a sore subject given your past videos, question mark. Anyways, can you compare comment on WBP Mini Jack versus Pioneer Hell Pup? Both from Poland, price differences is $250 in favor of the Hell Pup. Hell Pup is the forged chinion, not old style.
Kind of the same thing as the rifles. And we were actually off camera talking about this. The past is the past. It's business. I don't take that stuff personal. I mean, they didn't insult my mother or my wife or my cat, so whatever. But this third generation does seem better. We will definitely, we agreed actually we want to do 2 more videos on the Pioneer to really run it through its ringer. But the receiver and the trunnion feel pretty good, but it's the small parts like the safety, the top cover, the mag catch. They just feel a little bit thinner, a little more tinny feeling on the Pioneer vis-a-vis the WBP.
It really seems like that gun you need in your hands to...
Yeah, you really do.
As far as just like on paper and looking at it, there's not a... there's not like a huge complaint on like differences of, this trigger and all that. I mean, sure, there's a few, but for the most part, it's just how it overall feels and, the quality. There's just something there that's... And
the WBP is a little less recoily. The Pioneer has a little bit more thump. Not huge, but maybe 10%.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that right off the bat whenever we were shooting it that day in that video, but...
Oh, and the furniture. The WB furniture just feels a little denser.
Kind of manufactured on the Hell.
Yeah, and again, he's asking about the Hell Pup pistols specifically. They're fine, I guess. I mean, it's up to you which one you prefer.
Right.
I'd rather go WBP, but is a beater gun the Hell Pup, assuming it's gonna hold up with the newer parts?
If all honesty, man, you did mention a $250 difference. Get the WBP while you can still get them while it's still here. I think overall, just feeling it and shooting it, I think you'll be a lot more pleased with it.
Yeah, it's kind of the buy once, cry once. And they're not, I mean, we were talking about the $1,200 Wasr 3. I mean, cheaper than that, or it's the same. Hey. But I also don't knock someone if you just don't have $250. I would go with the Pioneer of today, definitely more than the Pioneer of the past.
Yeah.
The Pastoneer.
And if that's what you got, and at least if you don't have the 250 and you can skimp down and get it, at least buy the ammo or get an optic on it.
Well, and the Pioneer might be a good learner gun. You're not sure if you really want an AK. Because I've met a lot of guys that are just not AK guys. Well, that might be a good one to, because if you like the Pioneer, you're going to love Zastavas and
for sure.
Radums and stuff.
Well, and we talked about this earlier. For some people, they may only put 200 or 300 rounds a year through their AK. They may just be an AR-15 guy or a pistol person, and you know, it's probably going to serve you just fine. I haven't heard any stories of any blowing up or you know, they're dangerous, but
Yeah, I think the trunnions, I think they finally got that worked out. I just wonder about some of the smaller parts kind of wearing out quicker.
yeah.
But we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Unless something's wrong with my mind, which it very well could be, the WBP would have a Colt Hammer Forged Chromeline barrel, and the Hell Pup would. They might be chrome now, but I don't think they're hammer forged. And again, we talked about at the very beginning, that may or may not matter to you. I just thought I'd point it out.
And also, I'd recommend if you know anybody that has like an M90 or any of the Zastavas, and they're just around all that same price point. I can tell you right now, I've never had any incidents with any of mine. I think I'm up to 4 or 5 Zastavas.
Yeah, I've got an early M92, and despite some of the horror stories that used to circulate online about them, mine's held up great. I converted it to an underfolder, and it's great. I got that gun as a factory-built new production gun, cheaper than what a parts kit gun cost. So,
right.
Zastavas are great values. So yeah, check those out. And of course, there's always the classic Draco if you want to go Romania. And those come in sometimes.
Yeah.
Options are good.
Good question, Appley C. Appreciate it, man. All right. G-Bobby has a question while we're sitting here in traffic. Misha and Fox, are there any new silencers on your radar or in jail now for either one of you?
Simple for me, nope. How about you, though?
Man, I've actually got 3 in jail right now. I have the Hybrid 36 and the Hybrid 46. And reason being is because both I can throw on pistols and my hunting rifles and bounce them from gun to gun. More or less got the 46 that'll stay dedicated on kind of my AKs and my hunting AKs, hog guns. And then the 36 I plan on just keeping on my coyote guns, 243, 223, little smaller caliber doodads. And then I've got the 22 Sparrow. All these are by Silencer Co., by the way. Although I've heard a lot of really good things about Yankee Hill. They're a little cheaper, and I have several kind of ex-Green Berets and just gun buddies that are all about the Yankee Hill for the price. So I have been kind of curious about that new 3D printed. I don't know why, but when I was reading the question, I was trying to think of that name. They say it's good for like maybe 10,000 rounds. But anyways, it's a 3D printed suppressor. I tell you what, G-Bobby, look that up and see what you think about it. I think the price was right around $800, $900, but man, I've really been excited about these hybrid suppressors.
When did they go into jail? When did you?
I put one into jail into March, which was the 46, and then the 36 I put into jail 2 months ago. So, and then the 22, I did it at the same time, March. So the 22 is whenever I did the 36.
Two in March and 1 in May.
Yep. And I will keep everything.
People always ask, hey, how long is it? What's the wait time?
The good news is I used the kiosk at a local gun shop where I was able to do all my fingerprints and everything there, and my the trust or whatever. And when you do that, you know, you get an account on Silencer Co. or whatever, Silencer Shop. So I'm checking it periodically like a kid on Christmas because
we got one more stop. We need some booze.
Boozies.
So we're going to answer your question first.
Oliver, now that the Romanian Wasr 3 is being imported again, do you think we will see more of the Romanian steel mags come in? Apex gun parts used to have them, but are sold out for a long time. Right now, they are crazy money on Gunbroker, and the is it Weiger mags?
Uyghur, I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're German, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're even worse. So, yeah.
Yeah, and those Romanian mags, they were here for a minute, but see, they couldn't bring them in during the 94 assault weapons ban, so that's why the original SAR 3s and the first Wasr 3s came with converted Bakelite mags because they were certified. But yeah, they've never been super easy to find, and that's kind of the problem I was alluding to earlier. At least like your barrels and arsenals and stuff are kind of somewhat interchangeable. But yeah, if you get a Wasr 3, you get mags. But I know Century, and they are usually pretty good about bringing in mags with the guns, because why wouldn't they be? It's a good way to make a little extra scratch. And the mags are, when they do come in, pretty cheap. But when they sell out, then the price goes nanners. Cool.
Well,
we're going to go in and get something in a liquor store on a Sunday because freedom, damn it.
that's right.
Be right back. Yeah, we weren't sure how YouTube would like us recording inside a booze shop, so we're back out. I got vodka. I know, shocker.
They did have a cool single barrel select Elijah Craig, but I've got enough of those.
Should got a dickel.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Yeah.
Rob Assad. I recently acquired a Oval 11 AKMS kit build that came from an estate. It looks well built, all matching parts included, sight leaf and all. Barrel seems to be original. Also, although it lacks serial number, but has a bunch of proof marks. The serial number on the Childers receiver matches the serial number from Polish parts. Whoever built it did not leave any identification marks though. Is there a way to find out if it was built by a reputable builder? Do builders usually mark the rifles they build? I'll turn it around for you.
Yeah, I didn't put anybody on the stand. Yeah, the barrel usually doesn't have a serial number, but it will have either proof marks and it'll have like other numbers, which are usually gauge numbers. So that sounds normal. I'm gonna be honest. Probably if someone built it on a Childers, they at least knew what they were doing a little bit. I guess today, reputable is a different thing because back in the day, you had to look out for screw builds, and at least those are gone. People, instead of using rivets, they use screws. So, but yeah, unfortunately, unless it's a big manufacturer, a lot of your small ones, they didn't mark because they're just doing assembly, and there's no way to tell. I mean, you might be able to call Childers and they might give, if you gave them the serial number, tell you where that receiver was sold to. That's my only thought. But outside of that, it could have just been, like my local gun shop gunsmith. He's an 07, but he's put some AKs together for me, and he didn't mark his because the receiver was already serialized, so it's already a firearm. The only time you really see them put their name on it is if it's like an 80% and they go ahead and finish it out, or if they're like a big company that, does it.
Yeah. Cool question, Rob. Let's get into antagonists. He has a super obscure question you might just know the answer to. I want to clone a Colombian Galil Ace, which means it should be rock and lock and have lightning cuts on the receiver. I don't think that configuration has ever been sold in the US. Is it possible to take the plastic lower from a Gen 2 rock and lock, no lightning cuts, and put it on a Gen 1, which came from the factory with an AR mag lower with lightning cuts? Is there anything? Well, let's.
Yeah. Well, the rock and locks that came in, at least like the one I have, they weren't Gen 2. They were, if you want to call it Gen 1.5. True, the lightning cuts are different. But that shouldn't matter. You should be able to swap it around, but I'm not 100% sure, Guy. I've never really tried it, and I don't know what difficulties you may or may not run into. I would say with enough persistence and skill, people have done all kinds of crazy conversions, so why not? I will say that the go-to guy who might know is Sammy the Dwarf. He's very, very into not just the Galils, but the Galil Aces, and especially like the Vietnamese and the Colombian. So I could ask him for you, or you could, if you know him, how to get him, you can, do that. But I really just don't know because I've never tried to do it. I will say though, are you sure the newer Colombians are lightning cut? Because when you look at pictures, okay, that's one picture, that's one snapshot from then, but are the guns being made 2 years later still with those? I don't know. I'm just saying it could be one of those situations where the newer ones aren't lightning cut either. I don't know. So, yeah. But cool idea. I've wanted to clone a Vietnamese myself.
Antagonist also asks if there's anything he should look out for when buying German wartime P40 mags.
P40? Or MP40?
MP40.
Gotcha. Not really. Not off the top of my head. Sitting in a car. I mean, because they're similar to Sten mags. Just, inspect them. They weren't the best feeding mags when they were new, so check them out for that if you plan on shooting them. Obviously, there were some good repros and some not good ones, but when I was buying for mine, they weren't super duper hard to find, but I haven't really been in the market in a while. But I would inspect the feed lips, especially. Those seem to get a little dinged up, and since they're kind of a straight mag, and there are a couple of minor variations, like if the ribbing on the side or not, But yeah,
Cool. He also has one more question.
sure thing.
What's your favorite flavor potato chip?
I'm pretty easy, but I want to say, just like off the top of my head, salt and vinegar.
Dude, that's funny. The kettle cooked or the regular?
I mean, it kind of depends on the brand, honestly. I'm not real choosy.
I don't know. Dude, I can tell you my favorite chip ever made, and it was the Dorito ranch dipped hot wings, the Doritos Jacked. If you don't know that, Google it, because they were the best chip to ever be produced, and they went out of production for some reason.
Do you ever eat the ugly chips?
What are the ugly chips?
I think they're like Whole Foods and stuff. They're like made from the rejected potatoes and stuff that are not the perfect shape. They're not like rotten
cool.
or anything. But the reason I bring it up is they have a pretty good buffalo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There's just something about that Dorito Jack. It was like huge. It was like this, I don't know. It was a big ass chip. It was really good. You could put it on a sandwich and it's perfect. But I'm not going to lie. I've ventured out into the salt and vinegar chips. Kettle only. I like the kettle. Yeah. Cool.
Cool beans. Well, I think we're made our stops, and I think we'll head home and finish up the questions.
Sounds good.
Well, guys, we're back to my place, and it is dripping rain, but the sun is actually out because that's how the day is. And we do apologize. It was impossible for me to either get down there or Fox get up here throughout June.
It's been a busy month for both of us. Actually, really 2 months.
Yeah, seems like after like Mother's Day, like I don't know, but oh well, it's just how it happens. But so we gave you definitely a longer Q&A and maybe a bit of a unique one, kind of riding around with this during the day. I'm actually happy I did get those glasses finally.
I thought it was kind of neat to get out. Both of us really
Yeah.
needed to disconnect from our full-time jobs and just not take life so serious. And that's probably kind of neat what comes out of some of these videos we do on the channel is even these Q&As, you guys are really what keep us here. Even though we have a love and an interest for all these guns, it's you guys that I think we do most of this for. So
It certainly helps to know that there's a purpose. It gives kind of the reason to do it. It really does.
yeah, no doubt, and especially the questions and the comments and really referrals. Any videos you guys want to see us do in the future, that makes life a lot easier. And I've said that a few times.
Because sometimes it's hard to just think, what should we do?
Yeah.
And the questions are like food questions and stuff. Those are actually fun. Yeah,
No, they are. They kind of make you think outside of the mundane work life and out of the box.
Yeah.
So some days you find it's hard to get creative.
It really is. Once you get going, once you have a topic, it's great.
Oh, you can go on forever.
And for anyone who didn't catch it, we did post an extended version of kind of the two of us hanging out, just talking about who Fox is and all that a while back. I'm sure most of you saw it, but in case you didn't, in between us turning off the camera in 10 seconds, it came a spurt of rain and then out. That's why we didn't set up outside, guys. And this was kind of my ad hoc way of doing the video and taking care of our run-ins because we needed to do two things at once. And let us know how it turned out. We're trying to do each Q&A a little differently. Yeah, apologies. A lot of the stuff that maybe was planned didn't fall through, but what can you do? Try again. It's that's life. And like we were talking about, when a few things go wrong, it seems like after that you power through it and things go right. So, maybe we'll get some other good luck. And it does seem like the gun business is turning up again. New guns. 2022 was still catching up after COVID, and 2023 we're starting to see some new stuff. So keep a finger on it, but keep in mind too, prices. Whew, they're high. By the way, the shirt my wife got me like a month ago, planning on doing a video, and it didn't happen. So it's actually been sitting on my chair just waiting for a video. Fox got a cat mug.
I did get a cat mug. It's the OCD. We all got a little bit of cat lover inside of us.
I think it's a camera. But yeah, so this is it. This is our day. Hope you enjoyed it with us. We got a lot of errands done. J-Ro and I might try to hit up and get some work done at the cabin with the LMT just to shoot it. We need to go out there and do a few odds and ends if the weather lets us. But basically after that, we're probably going to do a little bit of a break. It's been a few months, and it's just getting so hot, and there's just a lot going on in life. As usual, we'll be gone 2 or 3 weeks. That just really gives us time to
Get creative again.
get new ideas. And
check out, check in.
Yep. It's kind of like going to sleep. You reset your mind and do all that. There's a few things on order. We should be able to come back with that Wasr 3, hopefully. And I've got a few other special projects cooking, and you never know what might come on the gun store.
That's true.
And we will finish up on the Pioneer, and we are going to revisit the CGR. We haven't really talked about it, the Sentry gun, the Nova gun, because it's kind of been boringly reliable, but at the same time, not really stand out, you know?
A little punchy, but nothing.
It's not really good or bad.
Yeah.
It's just there, but we will revisit it. So we hadn't forgot about any of those things we're doing.
Oh.
If you could please do subscribe on Patreon, it helps, and I'll just be completely honest, we really do need it right now. It's a slow time of year for all of us, and cost of ammo is not great.
No,
So
not at all.
any help you can give, even just to buck them up the month and whatnot. See, this is why we didn't set up outside. Luckily, the GoPro is waterproof.
Yeah. I'm getting my
We've
head.
already been wet enough times today. But yeah, guys,
wet drop, but,
we're going to call it a day. We're pretty pooped. Go drink another coffee maybe. But we greatly appreciate all the support. And, you know, if you can't, we get it because money's tight for you like it is us. Just liking, sharing, and subscribing on YouTube, that does help a lot too.
commenting, questions.
Anything. We're just here to share something we really enjoy. You've already left off with Fox there, so this is Misha, and appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed today. We're going to go in and try our new sunglasses on, and we'll catch you very soon next time. And check out the backlog of videos. Even if we're gone for a few weeks, we gotta, like...
Yeah, there's only like a handful of 6 to 8 hour videos a piece, so...
That's why I did it. And, I'm glad you said that. Over on Patreon, for Patreon guys, I'm doing a poll for the next big video. Do you want it to be AR-15s, the whole collection, or FALs? We'll do both, but...
What do you want to see first?
Yeah, first. I figured let the Patreons pick. So if you're a Patreon, do that. If you want to put your 2 cents in, go over and sign up for $1 a month and throw your hat in the ring.
Cool.
Cool, guys. Catch you very soon next time.